Jay, thank you so much for taking time before the game tonight. You know, when I look back on the season, in my opinion, this was like next man up season for you. Lucas goes down, Carter comes in, you lose Chase Maurer, you insert Corey into the backfield. You talk about some decisions that you make. What was it that you had seen in Corey that you said, hey, this is the guy that we're going to put in the backfield?
Reality is, number one, his size, his speed, his athleticism. I think all contributed to that. And I think, again, you always have to find ways to get the ball in your playmakers' hands. We know what Cows can do from the perimeter. We know what, Rocco Norch and Micah Regenball and Gino Szymanski. We know what all these other guys can do. Just with all the attributes that Corey brought to the table, we thought that'd be our best option to get him the ball in his hands and let him do his thing. And obviously, he's had a great season so far.
It's a different mentality going from that wide receiver spot to that running back position.
Oh, that's just it. But again, Corey has shown that, the physicality and practices and so forth. And again, that went into the decision of getting the ball in his hands and letting him be a workhorse. And I think, again, he's enjoyed the role. He's accepted the role. And as I always say, I'm happy he's on our side.
Absolutely. You know what? I don't stand next to too many guys that started 4 years at Jackson. I'm with one of them right now. Lucas Eckerman is that other one. And Lucas is another one of those guys. He's fought through a whole lot of injuries in his career. Talk about his maturation.
I think that's just it. It's from coming up as a freshman to who he is now, he's a completely different player. Understanding the game, seeing things, and like you just said, the adversity that the young man has gone with and gone through. I couldn't be more proud of him. I certainly know it's not the senior season that he was expecting as of now, but certainly there's still a lot of football to be played, and I'm certainly proud of him.
He's kind of a quiet leader, isn't he?
He's a quiet leader, and again, it's based on his work ethic, what he does in the off season, what he does in the film room. All those things is what classifies him as a leader.
There's only one head coach that's out here that's played in this game and is coaching in it. You're one of those. How would you compare and contrast coaching in it versus playing in it?
Just the inability to be able to hit somebody. Other than that, it's a rival. And
I'm not going to walk too close to you after you told me that now.
But that's really what it is. I mean, I have the same energy as I did as a player as I do as a coach, knowing what this game means to both communities. The only thing I can't do is, again, I can get after players and everything else, but I just can't hit any.
Coach, we were talking about the fact of this rivalry. And obviously I understand McKinley-Massillon, the War of 1894. But when you look at it across the board, when these two schools play against each other, there's a whole lot of bad blood there. What has made this rivalry so special in every sport?
Yeah, first, I think you're talking 15, 20 minutes down the road from one another. I think you're talking about two great communities that both, student athletes or all student athletes should be proud of. And then I think ultimately, each program is competitive in all sports. And when you compete in every sport, and it really comes down, I think it comes down to these two schools a lot of the time to who's winning the Federal League. It makes it extremely competitive, and that's why the rivalry is so big now.
Yeah, nobody had to tell you that it was week 10. I think all the kids understand that. You had a nice week of practice. What's going to be your keys to win this game tonight?
Our arch nemesis in the games that we've lost, turning over the football is number one. We can't turn the football over, whether it's through picks, whether it's putting the ball on the ground, whatever it might be. We got to hold on to the football and take care of it. Number two is limit the explosive plays. I think last week, again, we didn't show up ready to play, and that's on me, first and foremost. But we gave way too many explosive plays. We know that they have playmakers, and it starts with Jack Andes, and from what he brings to the table and how explosive he can be, and then obviously their quarterback. We've got to limit explosive plays on their side of the ball.
Gotcha, Coach. Thank you so much for your time.
I appreciate it.
Good luck to you, man.
Thanks so much.
Take care.
Thanks, guys.
Here, Brian, I'll tell you what, I talk to a lot of coaches. They always tell me, hey, we're going to change things this year. You're a man of your word. You said that we're going to change things up. I think good coaches coach well. Great coaches change their teams based upon the talent that they have. And you knew you had guys that could throw it and catch it.
Yeah, we had to be a little more open this year offensively. As long as we're executing and doing things we need to do, we're a fun offense to watch. And last week we had a little bit of struggles with it, gave them a couple short porches on it. But, that we throw the ball, things like that happen. But this week we're going to be real crisp.
I gave you the new name for your offense. It's now the air raid offense because of the way that you've been throwing it around.
Yeah.
And it all starts with the guy up front with John Collins. What a great season he's had for you.
Yeah, he's done a lot of good things for us. And getting him back completely healthy now is a real push for us here at the end.
You never want to see anybody get hurt. But when John went down, you had to make a change. And that may have been a blessing in disguise because you created a whole new offense that everybody had to get ready for.
Yeah, you get Andy's the ball in different ways like that, and when we put him in the Wildcat, and we're going to see some of that tonight. He can do some things, and he's a fast kid, but he's a smart runner too, and he gets 0 to 60 very quickly.
Your wide receivers do what they do, running backs and whatnot. It all starts with the guys up front. And I'll tell you what, if there's a better lineman right now in the county than Jack Zarko, I want to know who that is.
No, it'd be hard. It'd be a tough one to find because he's outstanding. He plays both sides of the ball. He's playing more and more snaps. He's really in good shape for a big guy, and we're really excited for what he's done this year and what he's going to finish through with the playoffs for us.
I asked Jay Rohr this question. I'm going to ask you the same thing. What makes this rivalry across the board so great between Hoover and Jackson? I don't care what sport it is that you're playing.
Yeah.
It's on.
Yeah, no, it's very similar communities, with the 1-2. They want to win. They want to be successful, and we want to go out there tonight and get the rail back.
Coach, when you look, we got to talk about the defense. We've been talking so much about the offense, but when you look at Chase Lukens, he's got 18 tackles for a loss. David Tully, 16 tackles for a loss. Owen Williams, 12 tackles for a loss. That makes your defensive secondary not have to work a whole lot, do that?
No, that's one thing we want to do. We want to stop the run with our front seven. Carter Lukens at the mic, Chase Lukens, Aiden Kish, Kavanaugh, whoever's in at the backer. And then those front four, we rotate them a lot, but Owen Williams, David Tully put up a lot of good numbers. And you throw Jack Zarko, who's really coming, led 9 tackles on his own last week. He's really coming into his own as well. So it's a fun front as far as stop and run, get after the quarterback.
I think when you look at these rivalry games, it's a question of who blinks first. And I think maybe more importantly is once somebody blinks, how do you recover from that?
Yeah, that's exactly it. You have, there's going to be ups and downs in this game for both sides, and we have to weather that storm. And we have to be focused in that second half, and that's what it's going to come down to.
I don't think anybody had to tell your boys what game this was this week. When you go into the locker room tonight, what are you going to tell these guys?
You don't have to say much this week. It's Jack's week. They're locked in. They're ready to go. I'm going to remind them a couple details, and they're going to go from there.
One of these days, I want to come into the locker room at halftime because I understand that your halftime discussions are legendary. So maybe you'll let me do that one of these days. Coach, thank you so much. Good luck to you this evening.